this one. You believe Tristan to be defeated, consumed by the fire at the culmination of your battle. Yet there are witness accounts that place him at the scene of attacks in the deserts of Thanalan. Fearing the worst, you and Mitra join the investigation to track down the madmen before more innocents come to harm. Oh, well, that's a spoiler. But of course, in order to see that menu, you would have had to have completed the story already. So, sorry, everybody. But yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and re-equip my proper summoner outfit. So Enkindle used to be an ability, but it's now a trait that will cause the Eggies to pop out their signature attacks: Inferno, Earth and Fury, and Aerial Slash. So it'll look more like they do when you're actually fighting them. Anyway, Mitra's got our new job for us. Ryan, you visit me at most opportune moment. I have tidings that you, of all people, should hear. After our last encounter, I presented our findings in the art of summoning to my fellow scholars. Suffice to say that the response has been enthusiastic. In addition to a flood of offers to assist in my research, I have been promised a contribution of several rare Allagan tomestones. I imagine that any summoning knowledge hidden within those relics would prove of great benefit to us both. Shall I journey out to Mordona now and pay a visit to Rambros? And that's the Heavensward quest, obviously. I was just joking about the not seeing a body part, but I mean, they did kind of spoil it. They did kind of spoil it in the menu in the New Game Plus menu. So, but that's fine. Ryan, how do you fare, my friend? As ever, we here at St. Coinax Find remain firmly entrenched in our efforts to excavate the secrets of the Allagan Empire. Members of Noah must be armed with the knowledge that they are truly to pave the way to the future. Ah, I see you're here with the intrepid Mitra. Might I assume you have come to collect your promised tomestones? I am most eager to sink my scholar's teeth into something new. Allow me to feed your fervor. We have uncovered a number of relics which, on cursory inspection, appear to contain detailed methodology for several summoner incantations. Who better than you to decipher their mysteries? Leviathan, Ramu, Shiva? With every new primal that appears, the importance of a thorough study of summoning magics becomes ever more apparent. Speaking of those particular deities, Ryan, I am given to understand that you had a hand in defeating every one of them. Your name features quite prominently in the reports we received from the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. And as you were present at each of their downfalls, it follows that your aura was infused with the essence of those primals. Could it be that you now have the potential to call forth new Eggy? By the 12, of course. The most trying of the requisite conditions has already been met. All that remains is to perform the summoning rituals at locations charged with the appropriate elemental energies. Master Rambros, can you suggest any places where the etheric balance tips heavily toward either water, lightning, or ice? The sinking shards would adequately serve your needs for lightning. The area is alive with a constant discharge of crackling energy. Singing shards it is then. Let us perform the austerities of lightning and attempt to bring Ramu Eggy into this world. Spoiler alert, I don't think that's going to happen because it's not on my ability list. Let us then begin the austerities of concentrate on shifting your etheric energies toward the desired element. sense nothing. I do not understand. All the conditions have been fulfilled. Summoning ritual has never failed us before. Whatever could we be missing? Well, there's a little point in remaining here. Framuegi will not answer your call. Shall we return to Gridania? It's kind of wild that Imitra doesn't react to the... See, by this point, the bloody banquet has already happened, and Imitra has probably received word of something, maybe from Alphino, I don't know, but anyway. Not sure. Hello, Ryan. I scoured my research notes for a hint as to why the summoning failed, but there were no revelations to be found. Forced to conclude the cause must lie outside our current understanding of the art. Thus shall I begin studying the tomestones we receive from Rambros, and hope they contain some heretofore unknown wisdom. Mayhap these new Egi require a different manner of catalyst? While I delve into this mystery, I suggest to continue practicing your art. We enter an uncharted realm of summoning, and you must be prepared, body and spirit. True dat. So, level up to 52, meaning you've gone through the Kurthus part of the MSQ in Heavensward. Done the optional dungeon, the Stone Vigil, or Dust Vigil, rather. Greetings, Ryan. Since we last met, the arduous task of deciphering those tomestones has occupied my every waking moment. I have made significant progress, but the cause of the ritual's failure yet eludes me. I am somewhat heartened, however, by my discovery of a new number of incantations. In fact, there is one spell which I believe you could soon master with a minimum of Well, hello. Pray forgive my interruption. You're the leaders of the research effort on summoning magics, yes? I am Captain Dancing Wolf of the Immortal Flames. It is fortunate that I find you together, as I have questions for you both. What would the Immortal Flames want with us, Captain Wolf? Does Zildaw's military have some vested interest in the activities of summoners? Just one summoner in particular, madam. We seek a man by the name of Tristan. Then you do know him. I've read reports that you had been in pursuit of our former soldier, but I always like to have confirmation on our intelligence. The Immortal Flames has his own reason for wanting Tristan found. If you have any ideas of his whereabouts, and I must know what you know. We kind of killed him. At least I think we did. Tristan matched his summoning magic against yours and was ultimately consumed in fire. You are certain he perished? Have we given you reason to suspect otherwise? I do not doubt the veracity of your tale, but there has been an incident. A merchant caravan was recently attacked by a man who, by the description, closely resembles Tristan in appearance. Should we allow the crime of a former Immortal Flame to go unanswered, then the integrity of the entire organization will be called into question. I will find him and see that justice is served. We looked on as Tristan was engulfed in flames, naught remained, not even a charred corpse, and we believed him utterly consumed. Could he have somehow survived that inferno? If he is alive, then we have unwittingly permitted the escape of a known pawn of the Paragons. Captain Wolf, you must allow us to accompany you on your investigation. Your combined experience in the summoning arts is most welcome, Lady Mitra. The attack occurred on one of the roads out of Camp Drybone. Join me at the settlement proper, and we can continue the search for witnesses. Sure thing, buddy. Cannot allow a madman like Tristan to roam unchecked. Let us hasten to Camp Drybone and assist Captain Wolf with his investigations. Camp Drybone it is. So everybody acts surprised that Tristan is the suspect here. Assuming Tristan was truly behind this recent violence, whatever could he stand to gain from attacking a simple caravan? Mitra, Ryan, as we are now cooperating on this investigation, I see no reason not to trust you with some of its duties. Let's split up and find out what these merchants know. Sure thing, buddy. Let's go find some people to chat with. Might I trouble you for a moment? That's cool. I like that. Like, there's not like even direct dialogue to speak with her about. You just see her hanging out and asking people in the town. You attack out on the road? I heard the man who did it was swathed in a robe that was black as midnight. One of Ifrit's tempered, I should think. Aye, now that you mention it, they did just cart a body of a merchant. Such things are hardly noteworthy around here, though. As such, I failed to take notes. Well, that sucks. Oh, here he is. There's Captain Wolf. It's just a fun little thing. I like it. Maybe they're inside this house here. Yeah. Ermengarde. A friend of mine has survived the assault. He even said he caught a glimpse of the villain's twisted face. I'm sure he'd tell you more if he had not left camp the moment his injuries were bound. Which way did he go? So we have one more merchant alive to tell a tale. According to my inquiries, our intrepid trader will likely be en route to Highbridge. We may yet catch him on the road if we are swift. I shall take to the sky, my friends, because this is past patch 5.3, which added flight to the game, and I'm going the wrong direction. It's also very rainy here. Uh-oh. It appears he is under attack. Do I have a... yeah, I do have my carbuncle out. Okay, here we go. Hey guys, guess what? Ruin 3. And also Ruin 3. I heard a mouth of war cries. Are you unhurt, sir? Oh. Yes, thank you. Well, aside from the injuries I sustained in a previous incident, I suppose. First the caravan, now this. Must all be so very eager to usher me to his hall? It is concerning that the assault on your caravan. We endeavored to seek you out, sir. Is there aught you could tell us of the attacker? I should be glad to see him brought to justice. But I did not see his face in any great detail, concealed as it was in the depths of a black cowl. I did glimpse a lock of silvery hair. By his stature I marked him of Huron stock. By his fiery servant, a hell-spawned demon in disguise. Fiery servant? Sounds accurate. Just pop it out right now. False balls, that's the one! Where do you people find those things?
False balls.
The villain was in command of FFXIV then. We know that the affinity that Tristan has for primal flame. Aye, all evidence points us toward our man. Thank you for your cooperation, sir. You've been a great help to our investigation. Think nothing of it. Consider it poor recompense for my rescue at the hands of this gallant adventurer. Why, thank you. Must report these developments to my superiors at the Hall of Flames. Pray join me in Old Opp. There is more I would discuss with you. Sure thing. Off we go to Ul'dah, Hall of Flames, which is right near the Aetheryte Plaza in Ul'dah. So we're just gonna hop over there. So yeah, coming out from the Aetheryte Plaza right here, just turn right, and this is the Hall of Flames, which is the Immortal Flames headquarters. Which, if you join this faction, out of the Waking Sands after you defeat Ifrit, is right here. So basically all the same services that you would get at the Maelstrom, but yeah. Captain Wolf seems most troubled. No doubt this case has forced him to relive some terrible memories that he would sooner let fade. You know Tristan's older brother Caden. Both were soldiers in service to the Immortal Flames. Both were soldiers under my command. Our unit was one of many deployed in the mission to destroy the Primal Ifrit, an operation that succeeded at a staggering cost. Those who were not incinerated were tempered, with Caden suffering the latter fate. As well you know, Primal's power is fueled by the faith of its thralls. The greatest mercy we can grant such unfortunates is a swift journey to Thal's hallowed halls. Tristan volunteered to end the cursed existence of his own brother. He returned to Ul'dah with Caden's blood on his blade, and I watched, helpless as guilt slowly strangled the life in his eyes. No word of comfort could reach him, and when he last quit the flames, he was a husk of the man he once was. Never did I imagine his grief-maddened mind would drive him to such desperate evils. Tristan was my soldier, and it's my responsibility to stop him. Thanks to your aid, we have mounting proof that he is still out there. When we are ready, we shall make our move. We are content to follow your lead in this, Captain Wolf. Should we certainly be prepared if we are to meet the Dark Summoner in battle. To that end, Ryan, I would teach you one of the incantations I gleaned from those repositories of elegant wisdom. 'Tis a spell of damaging magic, employed by the summoners of Eld. Let us call upon Captain Wolf again once you have mastered its use. It would not do to engage Tristan while we are stumbling over unfamiliar magics. And so we pick up Energy Siphon, which is an AoE version of Energy Drain. And basically, it's a targeted AoE blast that gives you your two stacks of two stacks of Ether Flow, which you can either spend on Pain Flare or Fester. So energy. I can't demonstrate any of this right now because I'm in town. Auspicious timing, Ryan. There's been news, and none of it good. Our soldiers in central Thanalan have reported another attack. I looked over the notes for the initial investigation, and it would seem that Tristan, or someone who looks very much like him, has struck again. I'll have one of my men contact Mitra with the details, but I suggest we head out to the Nanawal Mines immediately and question one of the surviving victims. Sure, let's do it. We are heading out past Blackbrush Station, but it's not going to take very long to fly out in that direction. Because AR zones are pretty small. It would be kind of wild to have all of the regions combined into one giant map, which I think they want to do someday, but probably not without doing some serious redesigns. Anyway, this is the mine that is in question. Mitra send word that you belong shortly. If only this gentleman was as agreeable. Why What do you mean, more questions? I spilled me tale to 3 different soldiers already, and me work gets further and further behind it. Every time I gotta stop to talk to you folk. Here's an idea, though. How about you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours? That big lad in the uniform looks like he could lift some good-sized rocks. What about you, lad? You some sort of mage? Had some trouble with local Spriggans wiping out our fire silver. You're just the bloke to get it back. Stuff's rare as chocobo teeth, you know. Just a moment, sir. We don't have time for these distractions. Then maybe I don't got the time to talk to you. Not until there's a little give with your take. I mean, come on, guy. Come on, Wolf. Very means to be stubborn about this, Ryan. Please humor the man and retrieve his precious ore from the Spriggans. I'm gonna need my fire silver back from them Spriggans. Always lurking nearby. They are sniffing about the carts. You'll find them soon enough. Sure. This is a little more interesting. Wow, the Rune 3 didn't kill it outright. It's kind of wild. I'll give you a Rune 4, which at level 90 you get the upgrade. You get an upgrade that will whenever you use energy drain, whenever you use your ether flow ability, you'll also get a one shot of Rune 4. And I guess I can demonstrate Pain Flare here. Just try Disaster. Kind of your AoE abilities. Hop right back down here. Oh, you look beat. This is a picnic compared to my officer training. Found them Spriggan's life. What about me silver fire? Fire silver. Oh, you got the whole lot back. Much appreciated. My apologies. My study took rather longer than I... Captain Wolf? Is everything alright? Everything's fine. I'd say your story, sir. I reckon you earned it. Well, where we was in the mine, loading the carts with our haul for the day, when this bloke in robes appears. Doesn't say a word. Bastard just snaps his fingers and sets his pet demon to light me mates on fire. Ifrit Eggy. Ryan, if you'd be so kind. You mean this thing? Bloody hells, aye, that's the fiend I saw. 'Tis as we feared then, and this robe-clad man. Do you have any idea of why he attacked you? Well, lass, there's more than silver to be had from Nanawa. On a good day, we dig up a fair share of crystals as well. Seems to be what he was after. I'm not ashamed to say that I fled for my life once folks started going up in flames. But when I went to sort out the mess, the cart that had the crystals in it was empty. Took them all. Aye, every single one. That's all I got to say about that. Hope you catch the bastard. Crystals. There was a crate of crystals on the list of goods stolen from that caravan. He must have taken everything else to conceal his intent. Or Corey goes careless, or simply impatient. It's time I re-examined certain other incidents that we do not think related to this case. Meet me at the Hall of Flames and we shall discuss the matter further. I can only imagine a reason why someone such as Tristan would seek to acquire wealth crystals. Come, Ryan, let us not keep Captain Wolf waiting. Uh-oh. That seems dire. It's been so long since I've done this story that I'm honestly kind of curious as to what's happening, because I haven't done this in a long time, so I'll warp back to old Part of the reason why I wanted to do this whole replay series thing is because I wanted to catch up on I wanted to revisit some stories and kind of reflect on them with some future sight. Whatever evil our callous foe is planning, we cannot allow it to come to fruition. Let us speak with Captain Wolf and learn what else his investigations have uncovered. As we shall. I inspected our incident records, paying close attention to cargo manifests that included crystals. We had attributed several raids to the Yomalja, but the victims were, every one of them, burned to death. Not entirely impossible, considering the lizardman's affinity for fire, but to not find a single arrow or spear wound? Aye, 'tis highly unlikely. Mayhap I should state aloud what we are all thinking. Judging by the sheer number of crystals involved, we must assume that this villain intends to call forth a primal. After my encounter with Ifrit, I learned just how devastatingly powerful these entities can be. I believe that summoners with their ability to harness such power hold the potential to achieve great things. But if Tristan is truly mad enough to summon a primal, then that unthinkable act, the bloody deeds he performed in preparation for it, cause the people to question the motives of all who practice the summoner's art. My studies of the tombstones revealed to me a tale of adulation. The summoners of Allag were revered as heroes for their parts in defeating the ancient primal. But the reverends slowly turned to revulsions as practitioners, intoxicated by their own immense power, began wielding the art of summoning as a means to further their own selfish ambitions. That is not to say, of course, that all summoners chose to become tyrants. Amongst the common people, however, it became a strongly held superstition that those who meddled with the powers of primals ultimately fell into the embrace of evil. This superstition blossomed into outright terror, and that is when the mage hunts began. By the end of the Third Astral Era, the last of the summoners had vanished from the stage of history. Should we allow Tristan to go through with his plans, then we risk a repeat of that tragedy. I will review the state of patrols on the crystal trade routes. We will catch them. Ryan, before I joined you at Nanawa Mines, I was able to recover another incantation that may prove useful in the coming days. Wield its power wisely. What did we get? Ruin 3. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that upgrades our basic attack spell, Ruin, to Ruin 3. Which, basically, you're pressing Ruin 3 if you're not pressing anything else in this game. In this job. Greetings, Ryan. I hope you're prepared to take action. Ever since we increased our presence on the trade routes, our Black Road villain has ceased his attacks. Now it is our turn to go on the offensive. With the blessings of my superiors, I have arranged for a lightly guarded shipment of crystals, with which we will lure Tristan into an ambush. And I want you there when we spring the trap. I've already sent word to Ymitra, and she will meet us at Camp Blue Fog. Let us bring an end to this, Ryan. Agreed. Let's go find and see who this guy is. A mad, bad, and ebon clad. Camp Blue Fog, here we come. Alright, here we are. We've been waiting for you, Ryan. Let us put Captain Wolf's plan into action. You're here. Good. Our crystal couriers have just left camp. The plan is simple. The caravan will head toward the processing plant, but conveniently break an axle before reaching the East Watchtower. We'll take up 3 separate positions nearby. Wait for Tristan to take the bait. I've had the driver complaining long and loudly about the lack of a suitable escort for his precious cargo, so he can be reasonably sure that an attack will come. I trust you need no further explanations. Head to your assigned position and do your best to keep out of sight. Alright. This is not subtle in the least. It's a first-person view. Who's that? Ah, it burns! It burns! Well, look. I see. Yep, that's what I thought. I bet I know what's happening. But it's Bahamut time. Talk to me, soldier. I'll live, Captain. He popped right out of thin air. Took me by surprise. The same happened to me. Another man in dark robes stepped through some manner of portal and assaulted me with spells. My position also came under attack. An underling, judging by the ease of which I dispatched him. But I've never before seen such teleportation magics. No, it cannot be. You know this man, Captain Wolf? This is Caden, Tristan's brother, but how? He was tempered, slain. Now both siblings have disappointed me. I should exercise more care in choosing my pawns. Ascian, that voice, you were the one who taught Tristan the art of summoning. Have you come to inflict yet more misery upon the world? Tristan? Yes, that was the other's name. I had hoped to groom him. Grant him the knowledge of Alag's mages that he might unleash his wrath against the primals. Alas, he was all too easy vanquished. No matter, the Bringer of Light has proven a more than adequate replacement for my failed God-Slayer. With every primal you kill, the beastman's fervor grows ever hotter. We need but supply the tribes with crystals, and watch as they summon ever more terrible deities. Whether the confluence of chaos reaches its peak, the world shall be swallowed in darkness. Our master shall rise again. He's gone. And we should be gone as well. I shall see that my soldier is treated for his wounds, and then I'll wait for you outside the Hall of Flames. Yep. So, yeah. Given what we know about how Ascians work, I'm willing to bet that Caden's body was possessed, I think. Once again, a paragon leaks behind the curtain, pulling the strings. I should have suspected. I believe some reassessment is in order. We now know that the black-robed menace that we thought to be Tristan was actually his brother Caden, reanimated puppet under the control of an Ascian. Oh, that might also be it. Both brothers were present at Ifrit's defeat, so Caden's aura too would have been stained with the primal's essence, which, if I understand correctly, would explain his ability to command the Eggy. But for that Ascian to raise the lad's corpse and press him to service as his pet summoner, I shall see the blackguard suffer for his cruel depravity. I, the Paragon, has many crimes for which we must answer, but we must move with great caution. The power of these immortals is not to be underestimated. I will return to Gridania and redouble my efforts to decipher the remaining tombstones. We cannot face an Ascian unprepared. Yeah, that was the level 56 ability, or that was a level 56 quest, and there's no level 56 ability. I don't think. Yeah, no. So, yeah, at 58 we're going to get something. We're going to get something real nice at 58. Ah, right. If you've come for word on the Ascian, I fear I have little progress to report. Yeah, no, I just turned around for a second and turned right back in. So I would imagine not. We did, however, hold a service for Caden. I assembled the soldiers from his old unit, and together we conveyed his remains to the priests of Thal. As for Thanelin's trade routes, there's still the odd raid by bandits or beastmen, but not that involves men in black robes. I must confess I am at a loss as to how we might track our foe. Ah, have you spoken with Yumitra? I believe she had new findings to share with you. The name of the quest is I Could Have Tranced All Night. And you would be doing all this stuff in between the Heavensward main story quests when you would be gaining levels. So instead of just blitzing it all at once like I'm doing right now. Hello, Emitra. What do you got for me? Ryan, there you are. We have much to discuss. As I've been engrossed in my studies, you see, seeking every advantage for our inevitable clash with Yassian. As I struggle to unravel the ancient knowledges of the tomestones, I unlocked a good many mysteries, including the reason why you were able to call forth Ramu Agi. When you summon an avatar, you draw upon your body's reservoir of ether to grant life and form to what is known as an arcane entity. That much we already knew. I had, however, overlooked the simple fact that our etheric reserves are finite. Thus the magnitude of Egi that you are able to summon is limited by the extent of your own life force. Simply put, if the Egi is too powerful, then the summoning fails. But do not despair. The summoners of Allag devised a method by which one might circumvent this intrinsic limitation. Rather than an attempt to summon a separate physical manifestation of a certain Egi, the most accomplished mages discovered it was far less ether was required to infuse themselves with the essence of a primal's power. The technique by which a summoner would have achieved this heightened state was known as trance. What say you, Ryan? Shall we see if you can master this method? It may even allow you to contend with a paragon, but not of the essences of an ordinary primal. Nay, we must set our sights on the most potent entity, the most fierce. I speak of the elder primal, Bahamut. On the day of the calamity, the dragon vanished in an explosion so massive that his ether was carried to the far corners of Eorzea. You, among many others, have already been touched by his essence. All that remains is to perform the meditative ritual in a place steeped in Bahamut's energies, and you should be able to enter the trance of the Dreadworm. As for setting foot with the only suitable location, I believe Captain Wolf can assist us. Shall we pay him a visit? And hiking right back to... Schlepping right back to Old Ah. I probably wanted to rewrite this quest to where Emitra would come along finding this with these findings rather than having you schlep back to Gridania just to come back here. Emitra here is certainly not one thing to do but things by half. She petitioned me to help gain entry to the ether-soaked wastelands of Cartano Flats. Flats are disputed territory, jointly administered by the 3 member nations of the Eorzean Alliance. Yes, it's 3 right now because this is before the end of Heavensward's main story, which means that Ishgard hasn't yet joined the Eorzean Alliance. Attempting to earn the full admittance to the area is a bureaucratic nightmare. As matters stand, I was only able to secure the permission to visit the Immortal Flames airship landing. We wish to enter the flats proper. We will have to do so under the cover of night. Prepare yourself for a tense journey, then make your way to the landing here in Ul'dah. I have one of our elite flyers standing by. Off we go. Mastery of this trance will greatly increase your chances of standing against the Paragon. Pray inform the elite flyer that we are ready to depart for Cartano. The catch is creeping into the flats. The general will have my head on a platter, but I must have vengeance for my soldiers. I'll follow you to the front door of the flats, but that's as far as you're allowed to go. Stay on the landing or face the consequences. Sure thing. So this is one of the battlefields in the Cartno Flats, and this is actually one of the PvP arenas that you can fight in PvP. So this is what became of the Cartno Flats. Never have I sensed such tainted ether. Let us not linger long, Ryan. Turn your mind now to Bahamut's terrible majesty. Allow his power to seep into your very being. To all of my children... No. Nothing? You may need to deepen your meditations. Do you truly attempt to harness the might of Bahamut? The essence of the Elder Primal shall tear your mortal frames asunder. Chaos rises in the presence of power, but you, bringer of light, can be allowed to shine no brighter. Come and be doused in the endless waters of the 12th chalice. False teeth, we needed more time. So yeah, so Dreadworm Trance replaces your Ether Charge, which gives you instant cast abilities, plus Akmorn, which is a OGCD, just fuck you, buddy. And it can be used in both single target or AoE situations. So now you can... Let's see now, I'm going to be... So this is the Ifrit Blast. Let's hit that Lingering Ether. Let's not stand to the AoE while we do it. Yeah, and that's Akmorn, the Death Flare. Finish this off and then go tune. Two stacks. That's really the image of Bahamut's wings. I will bury you in stone. Thanks for the stone skin. Earthen Fury. Nice. Bahamut's Claws. Swift cast the second Ruby Rune. All three of them, huh? Deleted. This Bruta phase. Bahamut Scales. Bahamut's fangs. Okay. Bahamut's roar. Oh, I'm in a permanent Dreadworm trance state. Or effectively permanent for this. Oh, the might of the Dreadworm. Yeah! I did not anticipate this. You should not have been able to complete the meditations under such duress. But I shall not underestimate you again. Our next meeting shall be our last, bringer of light. We did it. We faced a paragon and lived. And it is all thanks to you, Rhine. You and the towering might of Bahamut that you now command. Aye, despite the Assane's interference, we achieved what we came here for. But I'm afraid this is not the place to celebrate. Let us return to the landing before Dawn's light finds us in the forbidden territory. It was a daring journey, but I believe the rewards merited the risk. We shall now return. We shall return to the Hall of Flames and see that Captain Wolf has not been stripped of his station. That would be bad. I mean, it makes sense because, sure, you can go there as a part of a PvP, but it's part of a strictly controlled training exercise between all the member nations of the Eorzean Alliance. So it's very dangerous to go to Cartno unsanctioned. Paragon did not come across us by chance. We were being watched. We have reason to rejoice, my friends. It would seem our clandestine adventure went unnoticed by my superiors. And, more importantly, we seized the upper hand in a battle against an Ascian. The trance did appear to be most effective against our immortal foe. For such a hurried night's work, we managed to reap quite a harvest indeed. Aye, but it is a pity the bastard fled when he did. I would have liked to settle the score then and there. 'Twas for the best, Captain Wolf. We will truly defeat the Ascian, and we must be prepared to destroy him utterly, body and soul. Yeah, we need wide aura sight. Which Urianger would have given it to us at this point, but that one's kind of reserved for La Habrea and Egeorum. So yeah, I was using Dreadworm Trance during the fight, but that's just kind of a hiccup of the thing. So what Dreadworm Trance does is you activate it, and basically your ruins become instant cast. So ruin and try disaster become. It's actually yeah, it's not try disaster yet, but it's try. It's not try bind. It's something else. Outburst. Yeah, it's outburst. Yeah, basically outburst and ruin become instant cast. They change to other abilities. Astral impulse, astral flare. And yeah, basically you get you get 15 seconds of instant GCDs while you're running around casting spells, which makes Summoner very mobile. Honestly, if you consider the four quick GCDs you get with Garuda Eggy and the four instant GCDs you get with Titan, it gives you a lot of mobility. So a lot of summoners gameplay is planning around a specific fight where you know you're going to need your mobility soon. You'll hold on to Ifrit and Garuda, or Titan and Garuda to allow you free mobility, because Ifrit's two GCDs are very slow casting. Where is it? It is. What is the action? Ruby Right, I think. Yeah, the Ruby Right is actually longer. The recast time is a lot longer than the normal cast time, so you're gonna have to. Whereas Topaz Right is instant, and Emerald Right is also instant, and it's also a 1.5 GCD cast. So yeah, let's go on with the final quest of the quest line here. Ryan, I was about to send for you. Yumitra should be here any moment. Ah, wonderful. We're all here. I've been pondering some metaphysical theories, and I would like to discuss my conclusions with the both of you. Ever since our battle in the flats, the memory of our adversary fleeing the field has been preying upon my mind. According to the scions and their research, the Paragons are effectively immortal. They are said to be ethereal entities with no physical form of their own, instead possessing mortal host after mortal host in an endless procession down the ages. But once Ryan had acquired the Dreadworm trance, the haste with which the Ascian withdrew did not seem to me the action of a being who harbors no fear of death. Thus I pose the question, could it be that the 12th Chalice and his black-robed masked brethren are not as practiced in the art of possession as their red-veiled masters? At the time of the battle, our bodies were the only available hosts nearby. Also, assuming that he also lacks his superior's ability to flee to the space betwixt worlds, I suspect that our foe's sudden cowardice stemmed from an inability to force his soul into our living vessels. I would explain much, including the reason why he chose the deceased Kanan to serve as his puppet. I believe the theory is sound. Shall we put it to the test? If we were to lure the 12th Chalice into a location devoid of potential hosts, we might succeed in destroying him for good. What are we waiting for? We must begin devising a plan to draw the villain from hiding. Not so fast, Captain Wolf. We must first obtain the means by which we can ensure the Ascian's demise. A mighty coup de grace delivered before he has the chance to retreat. Rhyme. There's a passage within the last tombstone that describes how the power of a trance can be unleashed in a single devastating blast. The technique itself, however, was not explained. According to my research, it can only be learned from a forbidden book found in the shelves of the Great Gubal Library. To reach the library will require a long, perilous journey over Abalathia's spine into the wilds of the Durevandian hinterlands, but I believe we three are up to the task. Shall we be on our way then? The key to defeating the 12th Chalice will soon be within our grasp. Which means we are going to need to go through a long hike out of Idleshire. So be right there. So I'll see you on the other side. I really love this place. It's so pretty here. This is honestly one of my favorite, like, open zones. Just how pretty it is. I would love to live here, to be honest. This would be the zone where I lived if I lived in the world of Final Fantasy XIV. Glad I am to come to the end of that road, but it will be well worth the trip once we've secured Summoner's Tome. Tristan and Caden will be avenged. Yep. Sure will be. Now that we are all arrived, we can enter the library and begin our search for the Forbidden Tome. You have strayed far from the safety of your cities, foolish mortals. Whatever could you be planning? Again? Always he arrives at the worst possible moment. 'Tis no coincidence, I fear, and this time he leaves naught to chance. It was amusing at first to watch you stumble like clumsy children, but too insistent is your dabbling. Those who will not dance upon our palms shall be crushed within our fists. No more shall we endure your blinding effulgence. There can be no rival to the encroaching darkness. You've earned the ire of La Habrea's most loyal servants. Did you imagine the battle ended with our master's defeat? Stand now, bringer of light, and suffer the pain of our retribution. Would it not be wiser to retreat and seek the tome another day? You mean to afford us no such opportunity, my dear captain. Either we stand and fight, or we die. Wow, I just dropped 3 of them like nothing. Let's give you some. Ifrit. Wanderer of the heavens, heed my call. Alright. Screw you, La Habrea's toadies. How? We were raised unto greatness by La Habrea himself. You defeated my master, bringer of light. Mayhap it is meet that your strength was beyond us. But the day will come. You'll not escape us, this time, Ascian. Now, Ryan, unleash your power. Oh yeah, this is the Limit Break 3, I think. Oh no, it's not. It is done. The Paragon is no more. Most impressive spell, Ryan. But when did you learn how to cast it? Did we not require the library's tome? My apologies, Captain, but in order to deceive one's enemies, 'tis best to begin with one's friends. There never was any such book. All that Ryan truly regarded was the catalyst of battle to focus his energies. I knew that once the Ascian observed us traveling towards this library, he would assume that we sought some long-buried wisdom. He could not risk leaving Ryan free to gain even greater power. So this entire journey was a feint, a trap to lure him into the wilds. Well, you certainly had me fooled. Remind me never to cross wits with you, Mitra. So Ymitra's good. Like she's only a minor footnote in the Heavensward MSQ, but this is where Ymitra really gets to shine. My plan had you been unable to cast the Death Flare, my dear Ryan. I never entertained a single doubt. So you had no other plan. Together we have achieved something that few people can boast: the defeat of an Ascian. Never could I have accomplished this deed alone. Thanks to your actions, Tristan's case can be put to rest. Long have I been haunted of the horrors of that Ifrit mission. But at last I feel a measure of peace. I will return to Eldad and have a gravestone for Tristan laid beside his brothers. He may not have his bones, but it will be a place where the survivors from his unit can pay respects to the man he once was. I bid you farewell, my friends. May we meet again under happier circumstances. I too would extend you my gratitude, Ryan. In addition to untold slaughter, you prevented the summoning's tragic history from repeating itself in a new age. We must take greater precautions against this ancient art falling into the wrong hands. I will work alongside my colleagues in the Suns, and be sure that the spread of summoning is closely monitored. If only we could uncover a lasting solution to the primal predicament. There must be a way to break the self-perpetuating cycle of meeting force with force. As for myself, I shall continue my research into primals and summoning, and offer the Scions whatever support I am able. I am certain our paths shall cross again, Ryan. And then that's the end of the Heavensward story. Let's see here. Astral Flow. Is an OGCD follow-up ability that changes with the trance stance that you're in. So when you hit Summon Bahamut, it changes into Death Flare. So if I hit Summon Bahamut here, you'll see that the button has changed to Death Flare, and then that's what I was doing there. And so Bahamut's able to give you a... So the visual effect was a little bit different. So actually activating Dreadborn Trance once you hit level 70 is what allows you to summon Bahamut fully instead of that. And as far as what that bar looks like right now, you can just ignore that. We don't need to talk about that. So that was the Summoner story for both A Realm Reborn and Heavensward. And the next time I do one of these videos, we'll get... Actually, there's something over there. Something weird. What is that?
Remind me, why is there no rest for the righteous?
Because they care, Master Garland.
Of all the things they could have picked to play with, that's not a toy, you bloody fools, it's a primal!
Spires of deception crumble to dust, to lay bare truths long concealed. Beyond simmering shadow lie a shimmering light.